Testing, testing, one, two, three. What is up, everyone? It's your boy here, Eric with Traveling Trading. Wanted to make this quick little video recap here to kick off 2023 for you guys. I do apologize if it sounds a little funny or anything like that. I am a little bit under the weather. Fortunately, the missus has COVID. I tested negative, but you know, I don't feel too great. But anyways, um, I do apologize first and foremost if this video sounds a little annoying or you kind of hear me sniffling and gargling all that stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to get better. Hopefully, I can rest this weekend and come back at it full force, ready to trade. But I didn't do too bad given the conditions. I was debating whether or not I was going to trade this week. I decided to go ahead and try to do so and muscle through it just to see if I can muster through the pain. And apparently, I did a lot better than what I expected. I don't really recommend trading when you're feeling under the weather because it's especially if you're new and you're not used to like what the market looks like, not a good idea. Quick and easy way to lose money. Before, when I was a rookie, I used to do that a lot, even try to trade when I was sick or distracted, and I would lose money all the time. But again, I've been doing this for so long, I have the ability to do it when I don't need to be 100%. But still, it's very risky to do that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and recap the start here, first week of 2023. Supposed to be the beginning, of the pullback of the recession, coming off of this bull market, et cetera, et cetera. Well, whatever the case is, guess what? We're going to stay green and we're going to find ways to profit in this market one way or another. And you better believe we definitely did so this week. Um, so I'm going to keep recapping these trades here that I took this week for you guys, just to give you this thought process, this setup, so you can see what I'm seeing, why I do the things I do. Hopefully you can take this, make it your own, and become better traders because that's all I want for you guys is to become great traders. You know, and do this full time if you want, or do it part time if you want, whatever you choose. You don't have to live in the market, but if you want to make some money, by all means, the opportunities are there. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and recap my 5 trades I took this week. Now, it was a short week because, again, it's the beginning of the new year. So, Monday, the market was closed. I did 5 trades because I had 2 trades today, but the rest of them was 1 trade a day. Um, and so let's just kind of recover them. It's about a little over 12,000 in profit I made this week. That HKD, boy, that thing was booming. So, but yeah, we'll recap that. You guys be able to see all the posts, all the profits posts in the Facebook group there for you. So far this week is starting out great. All my trades were green, just because I was patient and played my setup. So, start with the first one here, right? ATNF. Now, again, let's take a look at the watch list here. You guys already know what the watch list is for. It's just for you to be able to come into the market prepared to look at some of these stocks here that has the potential to move throughout the day. Doesn't mean trade them, doesn't mean get into them. Hey, this is just notifying you that you might want to look at these stocks on your radar for the beginning of the bell and pre-market until you find other things that catch your eye. All right. So as you can see, the one trade I did was already on my radar, ATNF. Yeah, the rest of these made some pretty decent moves. Silo, we know Kala was coming off the killer move from, the right at the end of the year last year. So was Hoth. And then you have these here with news and stuff like that that had the potential to move. So these are the 2, 4, 6, 7 stocks for you to watch. All of you who know me and my setup know that I set up it up to where I can watch at least 9 stocks at the moment. And of course, I had 7 on the radar. Probably 2 others was just like the market and stuff like that. But anyways, ATF was already on my radar, right? So, we're coming out throughout the day. These alerts are going off. Nothing in there in the alerts is catching my eye that I wanted to look at. I told you guys I was watching a few of these here, but none of them, were interesting. And then we had, the visualization of the market. And then ATNF finally spiked up in volume at around the $4.40 level. Okay. Um, I didn't get in until like 446. And you guys will see that on the post there that I put for the trade for you there. So I got in I'm never getting in before these alerts go off, guys, 9 times out of 10. So don't think that, I'm just having some kind of magical way to get in these stocks before anyone else does. I don't. The same alerts you're seeing are the same ones I'm seeing at the same time. So keep that in mind. Let me go to the 5th here. What date am I on now? 5th. There we go. Wait, it wasn't the 5th, was it? It was the 3rd. Sorry, I'm tripping. Let me go back some more. All right. This is pre-market on the 3rd. This is Friday. All right, so here we are. Again, well, let's just first take a look. Volume spiked. You kind of already would know these stats here for it. The float is very low, so it's quick to move. All it needs is volume to come in for it to make its move, whether it be up or down. So it's a pretty good turning point. You can see the ranges, you can see the highs, the lows, all this stuff, all these points I teach you guys to look at when it comes to these trades, right? Now let's kind of look at the setup. Obviously, this is coming from today here. This is the time and sales for today and order book for today. It wasn't very active today, but it was at the time we were looking at it. So no need to kind of focus on this. But this is just the stats that I want you to see so that you can have an idea as far as what to look for with these trades. So obviously, if it's a low float and has a lot of volume, easy ability to move up and move down and vice versa. So let's pull up the chart here. But again, first alert here was at 440. I got in at 446 just because by that time, right here, let me pull it up here. It's already opening bell, right? So we're good there. It's already, the opening bell here was around this time frame. Okay. Um, And usually at the opening bell, it'll show like if it's having, some resistance at a certain level. Now by then, you know, the first 30 minutes to an hour of the market is going to show you like preliminary resistance or, support and all that good stuff for just in case if you want to trade it again like later on throughout the day. Whereas if it's breaking a high or breaking a low, then that might be a key point you might want to look at. And obviously, something that's moving, pre-market and throughout the day is going to be an indicator. So that want to keep your eye on it. Now, for those of you who looked at it later, you have much more opportunity to bank on this trade. Unfortunately, I didn't because again, it was the 3rd. I wasn't feeling very well, coming off of the flight and all that good stuff from traveling and trading. But I got in and quickly got out. It was a very, very small gain for me. Um, it wasn't nothing too big, So with that being said, the profits margin that I wanted to take out of that was pretty easy. And you'll be able to see, let me see if I can pull it up for you guys here on the screen. If I can't, I'll just do it another way. Anyways, it was only like an 8% gain. It wasn't that much when I got into it. So let me pull it up here real quick. All right, so it was a quick in and out because again, I wasn't feeling very well, but 446 is where I got in, which is, let me see how much it'll let me zoom into it for you. Right along this little spike here. See, the more you zoom in, the easier it is to kind of, see all that stuff. But right around here is where I got in. And I kind of just rode this on up here for like a small 8% gain. It wasn't much of a gain. It was only like 182 bucks, but I'm trading with 500 shares. So, you might think, oh, that's a lot, but it's not really that much. It's only 8% gain. But the reason why I got out is because look at these candlesticks. These are easily bullish sign candlesticks that's showing you that, hey, resistance is there, resistance is there, resistance is there, resistance there. Go study your candlesticks. Even though the price is closing higher and higher, that momentum is slowing down at this point. And so this was just a quick trade for me. I knew I was getting into the top. One no point in me staying in and waiting for a pullback. It wasn't part of my plan. It wasn't part of my trade. So, that's fine. And normally, if it was part of my trade, I'd be looking to enter like right around this area and just kind of holding. I probably would have cut right here. But again, that wasn't the strategy I wanted to trade. Just kind of based on my entry and exit, I knew what strategy I wanted to do. And again, as you guys develop your own strategy and you practice, you'll start to know your weak points and your strengths of the strategy that you're trading. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you don't have any of that stuff, learn how to develop it. And I teach you guys in the courses. So pretty easy. But let's say, for example, got into that trade, and it pulled back. Now it started to climb back up here throughout the day. Now, me personally, I wasn't going to hang around all day for this. So congrats to you guys that did, because you definitely had a lot of room for it to run. Went all the way up to like freaking $6, which was the next level of resistance. But again, for me, it was only 8% gain. It was very small, very quick, and 182 bucks in my pocket. But me playing it safe kept me okay. Sometimes you got to do that, which is fine, which is fine. Now let's take a look at the other trade here. RSLS. This one was a good one. Let me scroll back to the third here, which is when this bad boy went bananas. I thought this was going to be my best trade, honestly, because I got in this bad boy here at like $16, like right here on the third during this day. Now let's take a step back here. RSLS high day. So we got it was frozen or it was halted, not frozen. It was halted for news. It was already halted up 66%, right? Got that alert pretty early. Now, next thing that happened, it unhalted. I didn't get in again until about $16. So we already kind of got the alert. Let's take a look at the stats here. This float was ridiculously small. For it to be that high of a price and be that small, I'm willing to take the chance and get into it. Especially if I'm getting into it at an entry point where it's already low. If it goes any lower, I'm okay to cut my losses. But if it has a potential to go high, boom, my potential of, profiting might be easily, especially if one, we got volume. Um, Decent price, and that's why I thought this was going to be my best trade because of all the stats that I looked for was fitted there. So I picked that stock out of all the other ones that was doing anything. I had just got out of ANTF, and I'm like, man, nothing's moving. And all of a sudden, that happens, which is great. I'll take it. So get in that stock. Let's pull it up here. Again, got in at 1680, which is voila, right in this range here. Coming off the halt, you see the halt right there. And I was just waiting for it to show some strength. It was halted down, started to come back up, got in at 1680, just rolled it up a little bit, and then I only had about a good 16% profit there. So it wasn't too shabby, but wasn't too greedy either. But the good thing about it is like I knew that this thing was dying. And a lot of times the vortex indicator is telling me when, buying pressure is letting up as well too. When those things start to converge right there, relative strength is okay. I mean, a lot of I know I only kind of keep that there because I know a lot of other traders who don't know how to trade are looking at that, so I'm using it against them. Which is what other traders are doing as well too. Which is why I tell you guys to study this stuff. But the momentum was, coming down there, even though the strength was there. I used that pretty much as like my exit points and knew when and where to get in out of the trade. But other than that, I mean, the thing pretty much died up. So at this point, when I'm looking at this trade and I executed, I got in and got out, I'm noticing two things that I got into both of these trades here at the very tops, which isn't really good. I don't usually do that. Excuse me. But my throat's killing me. But, at that point when I realized what my two trades were and how I trade them, I realized I needed to just step back and call it a day, which I did, which is fine because even with, this trade here, it was like a $1,400 profit off of 16%. Again, I'm doing 500 shares of each of these accounts, so perfectly fine. So that's fine there. So that's RLS. Let's go to the next trade here. CRKN. Traded this one on the fourth. This one was a little out of my realm because again, it was below $1, but it was the only decent thing I've seen with a setup. And I realized at this point I was trying to basically force this trade because of the fact that it was below $1 and there was nothing really much moving throughout the day. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much how that went because these are pretty much, what was on the watch list, but as you can see, none of these barely moved, that much. And so, kind of looking at this, we got, this news right here. I thought that was going to be good. They were being acquired, they acquired Amerigreen for 33 cents. I'm assuming that's going to make this thing move. And we got the little alerts and it started popping up, popping up. You know what I mean? So let's go back to the 5th where it was at. What day was that we traded this? Was it on the 4th? Yeah, 4th. Sorry, I said the 5th. My days are flying by, guys. My apologies. Here we go. The 4th. May the 4th be with you. All right. So yeah, we got that little alert at 5 o'clock that it was going off, and this was a quick trade for me too. Here, I didn't stay in this thing too long, just because of the fact that it's below that you trade. Not only that too, but also the fact that um, it was already pre-market. So I'm not going to try to hold this thing through pre-market. But I just rolled a little bit of this wave up here, and I only got like 284 bucks. It wasn't that much because I got in at 75 cents, which was like right around this range right here. And I just quickly rolled that up. Again, it's pre-market. I'm not waiting for a strategy to set up with this type of account because it's pre-market. It's below $1, already breaking a few rules right there. And I'm not going to push my luck. I'm going to get in and get out and just see how it does the rest of the day. If it breaks over $1, cool. I'll go back and address it. But a good thing I did and I stuck to my rules because look at that. It never broke above $1. Crap on crap on crap. But I got my little movement. I got in and I got out and I got my 284 bucks. Called it a day. That's all you got to do. Get in, get out, and it makes it more of an advantage if you have like Webull, another trader lets you trade in pre-market because you're not going against so many other people. All right. So that was that trade. Little quick little 284 bucks there. Let's go to the next one, the big boy HKD. So this one was amazing, guys. This thing was just phenomenal. This was my 10K trade here. Not a bad way to start off the month. Puts me ahead a lot. All right. Let's take a look at it here. We traded this one yesterday on the 5th. All right. Let me pull it up here. That's the 6th. Voila. It may look like it's not much now, but wait till I zoom in and show you this bad boy. Because, man, this thing was fun to trade. It's always fun when you're winning, right? All right, so let's go ahead and pull this bad boy up. Let's take a look at that alert. These stats, sorry, stocks, HKD. All right, now let's take a look here real quick. This was the 5th. We had VYNT and OBLG on there. OBLG did pretty good. Those are just some of the stocks we did. WDC done good today as well too, pretty decent for its movement. But yeah, those are pretty much the ones we were looking at, right? So first thing in the morning, boom, HKD volume spike at 1574. So we got that alert kind of early there too, which is right down here. Well, anyways, we'll go to it in a second. But 1540 was or 1574 was the first alert. Look at the stats, HKD. It's a $20 million float again. I'm sorry, $20 million. 20 million float below what I look for. I mean, well, right within what I look for, what you guys know. The volume on it was great. It was one of the leading volumes in pre-market there too. So obviously eyes are going to be on it. And then, pretty much hitting the nail on the head with everything else we're looking for. And this is just stuff from today, but you had like the highs and the lows and all that good stuff as well too. So let's pull up the chart. 1574 is where we got that volume spike. Pre-market. So pops up, then it popped up again. And this is where it caught our eye, right? I didn't get into HKD until 1710. All right, which was like right in this range. Now the problem there with doing that is that, of course it's in pre-market. If you guys know HKD, and this is where your experience in the market comes into play, stock is a load of crap. I'm just going to tell you that right out the gate. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's a stock that's full of crap. But it's going to move. And when there's movement, there's money. You got to understand that. Okay. Um, so I'm watching it during pre-market. Looks good, looks good. I'm still kind of reluctant to try to touch it. just because of the history with it. So I waited to opening bell. Okay. And then the opening bell came, it pulled back, and then it bounced, it started to turn up. And at that point, when it started to turn up, I started to turn up because I figured I got in at a really good point. So I pretty much kind of almost nailed this thing like right at the bottom, which was pretty awesome because really at that point, getting in at 1710, I had no reason to let the stock go because and this was just the reason why I was watching because it was kind of one of the leading, the charts just looked better in pre-market. If you study your charts, you know what you're looking at. But I kind of nailed this thing right at the bottom there. I got executed at like 1710, which was like right in there, right, right where that thing. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right where that thing was turning green, like right in there. It was so beautiful, guys. But anyways, got filled. Watching it come down off of that, and then it just continuously treaded up, treaded up, treaded up. Now here's where I felt safe. Right when it crossed the volume weighted average price, boom, we're in bullish territory. That's great. Now at this point, this is another thing where I'm telling you guys to let your winners win, right? So I'm getting in at 17. Obviously, when I got in at 17, this right here was going to be my next level of, just go ahead and cut my losses. I'm thinking 14.50, $15 area. If it starts dropping down to that, $2 of difference is all I needed. So obviously, 1 to 2 ratio, it gets to $19, I'm going to start to feel very confident. I may want to take, profits. And by then that it happened, we're already right here, right? So let me zoom in a little bit. I'm thinking in my head, man, we're still kind of early. We still got room for this thing to continuously go up. And it began to just shoot up and shoot up and show strength. I said, okay, that's fine. Let it pull back. Let it pull back some more. I want to see where the next level of support is. And it stayed right there and it just continued to grind up and grind up. And as long as it's not hitting my level of, stop loss, I'm going to let the stock play out. I'm watching to see if it does this. I want to see it break this level here at 23. If I can get back to there, I'm fine. Because remember now, I got in at 17. My resistance is going to be 14, and I know my next level resistance is going to be 23. That's a good ratio for me to risk what I'm going to risk, right? So then, boom, it finally breaks it, and it breaks it hard, like boom. I'm like, okay, great, let it ride, let it ride. And I'm still gonna let the waters test because now I got a level of cushion. I'm up a lot. I'm gonna let that cushion hit where it's at. And of course, if you're looking at level two, you'll see there's more buyers coming in, more buyers coming in. And by this time, it's on everybody's radar, right? So other buyers are coming in to push the stock up even more. And then it just continuously rides and rides and rides. And as you can see, it begins to die down eventually. And then did some more after hours work, which is crazy. This thing went all the way to freaking like $60. So hopefully you guys got into some of that. But anyways, 10K trade for me on that one. I did 119% on that gainer. It was outstanding. The post is in the Facebook group. Go check it out. Let's just wrap up the last two here because I'm getting more dry mouth and I'm ready to go. But yeah, great trade there. That was like what, $10,245 I got there. I had like 500 shares at 17.10 and I sold it like right into the hour. So we're good there. AEHR. Voila. This was today. Quick trade in the morning. Nothing too, impressive. I pretty much just did that one with ease. This one was a quick little trade here. Well, first I did SPRB, but AEHR only got in and got a little bit because I kind of got in this one at the top. I got in here at 23.80, I believe, and you can see that's like right here. So I just grinded it up a little bit. It was only like a 2% gain. It really wasn't much, but because of the fact that I have 500 shares, a 2% gain gave me like a $250 profit there. But it wasn't really impressive, guys. So, I mean, it's not really much to review there. Again, got in at 23.80, which is like, right near the top here. Then I just let it grind up a little bit. And then pretty much I just took that off um, and just called it quits because this was my second trade of today. SPRB was the next one, and let's take a look because I already had that on the radar as well too, both of them. So I was just looking for some setups to go through. I was hoping that AHR would gain some momentum, but it didn't. But CSPBR had that little announcement there, and then we had AHR that I was looking at right here too. So you know fit the criteria, but the price movement didn't fit my pleasure. You want to call it that or whatever. It just didn't. It doesn't make sense for me to stay in a trade if it's not, doing what I expect it to do. Because I have a timing of when the stock should be moving when I expect it to move. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to get out, wait, sit back and wait for the next setup if it's the one that's coming. Now, SPRB, I just did that quickly in pre-market because we didn't really have much movement in pre-market today. This Friday was very slow. Well, it wasn't very slow. It was just still slow. I mean, MLEC did some movement. So did SWVL if you got in that quick enough. But other than that, wasn't really much. I was watching with you guys. I wasn't really able to like chat and text and all that good stuff. I was just busy and things like that. But I was seeing it, excuse me, as well while I was on my little conference and stuff like that. But that's pretty much how the trade went today. SPRB just really quickly got in there. I believe I entered that one at like 309 when the alert went off. Let's take a look here. So the alert went off. I mean, it was already on my radar. Then it went off at $3. It was already testing that already in pre-market. So I was like, let me just try it around 309. And you could have seen in level 2 where it broke it in pre-market. I was like, okay. And then I just took like a small little 6% profit. It was only like $100 I got because 500 shares. But if you look at it here, $3. If you get in at 3 and you move it up a little bit, that's not a bad gain if it's just 6% of a move. So, but again, you're coming in heavy with shares. You gotta anticipate something like that. So that just comes with experience, guys. But yeah, so just got in and got out pre-market, and I was done. I didn't want to risk hanging on to it and become red, which is good because look what happened. Sold off. I'd have been screwed. Obviously, I would cut my loss right there, but I would have been screwed. But I wasn't, luckily. And then again, there's AHAR. Again, got in this one at 23.81. Then cut my loss or got my gain real quick, 2% gain, $250, very small. So, but that's it, guys. I mean, that was today's trades of the week. Again, HKD was a monster. Congrats to you guys who got in on that alert. I'm glad you were banking. This is a great way to start off the year. Hopefully this can continue. And like you guys were saying in the chat room, I mean, everyone else is bleeding out the mines with the way the market is moving, and we're doing very, very good. So let's kind of keep this momentum going, all right? Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. I'm finishing up the advanced trading course here as much as quickly as I can. By the end of the month, I'm trying to get it to where you guys can also see everything online as far as I'm going to put like the scanners and stuff like that on there so you guys can kind of have that to look over as well. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we got more things coming for you as well too to help you guys become better traders if we can. Again, feel free to reach out to me, guys, if you have any questions. You need to talk strategies. I've been helping a lot of you guys as well too. Keep the questions coming. I'm trying to do whatever I can to help you, trade better, do this as much as you want, and make as much money as you want. Travel and trade. That's what the whole point of this is for, okay? Just don't get COVID or nothing like that like I'm doing, but lack of sleep will do that to you. So hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next week, and let's hopefully get this money and have a great 2023. Enjoy. Stay green.
All right, guys, you know the routine. If you enjoyed that video, please do us a favor, show some support and hit that like button. Give us that thumbs up. Let us know if you enjoyed this content. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. We love hearing from you as well, too. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about anything whatsoever. Be more than happy to help you out. Until then, stay green.